DoubleJab.com studios. And again, this is Double Jab Podcast, powered by the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, where boxing history comes to life. Don't forget the induction ceremony in May. We'll give you a little more information before we get out of here. 7:33 on a Wednesday. Rich Quinones, Rob Scott. Good stuff from Dwight Quawi. We'll switch gears a little bit from a local angle, and always good to catch up with Thomas Cornflake LaManna, who's doing double duty, promoting your card this weekend, Saturday to Claridge, fighting on the card, headlining it. But always good to catch up. How you been?
I've been great, man. How you been? Good?
We're doing well. We're doing well. And first one for me, I'm just curious. You know, you're fighting on the card, you're headlining the card, but you're promoting it as well. Talk a little bit about that balancing act, and also a little bit about the relationship that you had with the Claridge. How did that all come about? Because it seems like you guys are really starting to make the Claridge the home for boxing.
Right. So to answer the first question, you know, I love boxing, point blank period. You know, so promoting and fighting is my two, you know, biggest passions. I enjoy it. It's not any longer a hobby. It's like a job to me, you know. So you know, I enjoy it, man. Just waking up and making matches and dealing with commissions and paperwork. It's everybody says, man, you're crazy, man. Like, focus on your fight. You know, I like to say, like, I feel different. I feel like I could do this. You know what I mean? I could multitask, and I feel great doing it as well. And as far as the Claridge, man, I got the Claridge through Ray McCline with the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. I'll never forget, we were at the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight week in Vegas. We were just together. He was on business. I was just there chilling. And we linked up. You know, me and Ray have known each other for like a couple years prior to just in boxing. And we always said, man, you know, we're going to make something happen. We'll make something happen, and we'll make something happen in due time. And when we were in Vegas, we sat down in like a McDonald's cafeteria, whatever it was. And it was in MGM Grand. Yeah, right. And it wasn't no MGM Grand. No, it wasn't no MGM. It was actually, it was MGM. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was MGM Grand in Vegas, in the McDonald's, whatever it was. And we just sat down, we talked, and he told me, you know, the whole plan, his outline and his vision, and it matched up with my vision. And ever since December 5th of 2015, all the way up until now, or Saturday, January 28th, there's going to be a 6th show. And I just love it. You know, Claridge has been great to me.
Well, I'll tell you like this, Thomas. Our relationship, it goes back a while. I remember our relationship to a certain degree. It's like watching a young man turn into a grown man. You know, whereas I started following you after your second fight, and that's when you used to come to the fights. You used to wear your glasses, and people actually you probably had that into your advantage because people probably took you lightly because this guy doesn't look like a fighter.
Of course.
But you know, remember what I told you, what your opponent said, where you definitely left your mark on his head.
Yes, sir.
But at the same time, you know, like you said, you went into promotion, and you've had your setbacks actually in the sport or whatever. But one thing that's always impressed me is how you bounce back. Not many fighters can do that, especially mentally. And these fighters nowadays, you're really helping a lot of the young fighters, especially a lot of the local fighters. What do you tell them on how to come back and how to have that perseverance?
You know, at the end of the day, in boxing, it's you, yourself, and you. You, me, myself, and I is what I say. You know, so I'm my own opponent. Even though I'm fighting somebody, I'm still my own opponent. You know what I'm saying? So if I already put myself down, I lost straight up. So, you know, even though in a couple of setbacks, 2 losses, they're not losses to me, they're lessons.
Yeah.
And even in, like, you know, coming up in my career, you know, I had a lot of setbacks, meaning like I wasn't fighting for like 6 to 8 months at like a 6-round level. You know what I mean? I was like being really inactive, and that's crazy because I'm like a big ticket seller. I sell like a lot of people come to watch me fight. So I was like, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get on these cards or whatever. So, and just in regular life, everybody has, you know, obstacles and stuff. But I guess my advice would be like, if you have a vision, you know what I mean, stick with it. If you have a plan, stick with it. Don't care about what nobody say to you or about you. Because you control your own destiny. I control my own destiny regardless. You know what I mean? I make my own moves. I get my own fights, meaning promoting these shows. I get the clearance because I have a personal promoter as well, Vinny Ponte of Gulf Street Promotions, get his you know, approval and everything. And, you know, I'm just on a fast track. You know what I mean? When a big fight comes and me and my team feel like we can do it, we do it. In the meantime, I fight at Claridge on the AC Fight Night Series.
You mentioned when a big fight comes. You stepped up against Douglas. You showed a lot of heart in that one because that is a very hot prospect. You lose that fight. You had the experience, the Showbox card, but a lot of people walked away and said, hey, you know what? LaManna showed a lot of guts in that one. You reeled off 5 in a row. You come back. You had the war words on social media against Dusty Hernandez Harrison, which I'll ask you a question regarding that in a moment. You took that fight. You said that there's no losses, there's no lessons.
No, there is lessons.
Is it tough though, because you want to take that next step, and then sometimes when you do jump up and you go to a higher level of competition, or in your case sometimes with different weight classes, which can always be tough on a boxer, whether it's going up in weight. We talked about you with the power. You know you got to grind it out 8 or 10 rounds. You said the power, you don't worry too much about that. But talk a little bit about, I guess, that rock and a hard place where you want to step up and then maybe you don't fare as well as you want to, but then you have to go back down a little bit, get those 6th, 8th rounders and rebuild the resume, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, especially with the platform we have with the AC Fight Night series, it's, I guess I'll use the word easy to bounce back if, God forbid, you take a loss, you know what I mean, or a lesson, I should say. But like, I mean, the weight class, I know I could make 47 and, 54, I'm fighting whatever. So I guess, when a big fight happens, if I come up short, say, oh, I tried, come back, regroup, do it again. I'll never stop, man. I'm gonna be a world champion.
Now I read this afternoon. You're asking, you want a rematch?
Now I want a rematch.
Why would you want a rematch?
Why not?
Because it seems as though, don't you think in a fight like that, what would you have to gain in a fight like that?
Well, because one, it was an entertaining fight. 2, I felt I got robbed. 3, he's world rated. 4, there's good money involved. And 5, I just think I could just You felt you got robbed in that fight? Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly.
Okay. All right. Listen, I scored that fight. Again, just me. On the record, I had a 97-93 for Hernandez. Obviously, it was a unanimous decision. Yeah. What did everyone else have? 98-92, 97-93, 97-93. Yeah. So you would have to sell that fight. You're talking to Dusty Hernandez Harrison right now. How would you sell that fight? You think the fight was a lot closer than it was, which is fine. That's okay. How do you sell that fight?
Dusty, I'll call him up on the phone. Dusty, you want to run it back again? I'll call Eric Botcher at Rock Nation. Okay. You want to run it back again? Look, Dusty Harrison don't need me. I don't need Dusty Harrison.
That was just my point. That's all.
No, and it's not that we need it. It's just principle. I felt as though I won, and maybe if I can get it back, it has to mean something. You know what I mean? It meant something the first time. USBA, TV.
Sure, great exposure. Absolutely,
all that stuff. So
the war words on social media.
Sure, you know what I mean. But that was more so of like, that's my boy, man. Like me and Dusty, we've talked so many times before. I mean after that fight, So it's like, it is what it is, but. If it doesn't happen, I'm not going to cry over it. It's not like spill milk to me, He got that. Best of luck to him. I felt as though I beat him, but it is what it is.
But you said you felt that you beat him. He said that he thought that Dusty won. What are you going to do the second time around to basically...
He got to go. Knockout. Okay. He got to go.
And so how's that going to come about, though? I mean, what can you do different, or what will you do different, rather? Not can, because you're young and there's a lot of things. I don't think you've even touched. That's the one thing I like about you, is because I don't even think that you touch the surface of your talent. I think you're a very talented guy.
Thank you.
And I don't think you've touched the surface. And because you're young, you can learn from your mistakes. What can you do, and what will you do? You say you're going to knock him out, but how's that going to come about?
You want to know what's right? I don't want to sound like, I'm not running away from that question, but I guess I'll answer real quick. I mean, I guess just setting them up early. You know what I mean? It was my first time going 10 rounds. Now, I know I've gone it before. I made the weight pretty easy, but I doubted myself about the weight. Like, it was just like mentally. It was just, I think, a mental progression will get me past this guy. But at the end of the day, Saturday night, I have an opponent in front of me where I don't want to think past. You know what I mean? Like I said, if me and Dusty happen again, great. If not, best of luck to him. That's my boy. I'll be supporting him, to the wheels fall off.
And you mentioned you got an opponent ahead of you, Eduardo Flores, a guy who's been in the ring 50-something odd times. You got a good local talent on that card as well. Dallas Holden, kid that fights out of the AC PAL. You got Gabby Pham. You got John Bowser, a good rising prospect with Rock Nation as well. Quan Davis. So you have a pretty nice card that's going to highlight a lot of local fighters. Is that the theme going forward here, where you want to give an opportunity for some of these young fighters that they might not have an opportunity to fight on different venues and different cards, where you can come along and say, hey, let me give you a helping hand?
He's proven that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's called Rising Star for a reason. I mean, I like to consider myself, hopefully I don't want to be fighting at the Claridge forever. I feel as though just my fan base alone, because I don't ever think I'm better than nobody, but my fan base alone has outgrew the Claridge. Like, it's sold out, knock on wood. Like, this will be like the 4th show in a row, you know what I mean? And out of the 4th show, I fought on 3 of them, you know what I mean? So it's like you do, you know what I mean? But guys like Keon and Dallas, and sometimes you got the kid Juice, Anthony Young fighting on the card. You know what I mean? Chuck Masaccio, he's a big draw. So it's like, it's built around that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like to give the local guys that chance, because I had that chance. You know what I mean? With other guys, I made my debut for Goose, and got rest in peace and stuff. So like, I was given a chance. I want to give my chance back, because I feel as though like I'm kind of there on the local scene. I'm up there. So like, now it's like give back, and look, they sell tickets. They bring revenue to the show. It makes sense. People like to see them. So.
Anything in closing, Rob?
No, again, he and I, we've talked on many occasions, and I've known him for years, and I know his talent, and I'm very confident in him. I think that, like how Kawhi said about what someone said to him before, and this may sound cliched or whatever, but really, the only person that's going to really beat him is himself. Like I said, he's a young fighter, and I think that he has the ability to get better. And he had his setbacks, but at the same time, he's learned from his setbacks. And like, I love his attitude on how he didn't give up.
No. Hey, listen, no one's questioning we might disagree on decisions. No one's questioning the talent.
Everybody
being
does.
24, 25 years of age, and being 21-2 already in your career. Before we let you get out of here, any information, ticket-wise, information for the fight?
Yeah.
I'll give you the shameless pop. Go ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. Saturday night, January 28th at the Claridge Hotel. Tickets, very little bit of tickets are available at rspboxing.com. Doors open at 6 o'clock. First bout at 7. I'm the main event against Eduardo Flores from Ecuador. We got Chuck Masaccio and Mike Mitchell in the co-feature, which is a great matchup. Dallas Holden, Yurik Mamadev, Thomas Romaine, Jamil Simmons, Gabby Pham, Jose Valderrama. Just like a great undercard. And Dan Murray. I can't forget about Dan Murray. It's my favorite kid, because he fought a 6'4" southpaw on his debut. That's why he's my favorite.
Anyone that does that is a southpaw.
No doubt. That's my man. So it's going to be a great show. And then on March 11th, right back at the Claridge.
Nice.
We're not playing no games.
All right, listen, hey, we always appreciate the honesty. Always appreciate the back and forth banner as well. Thomas LaManna will take a quick time out. Rob and I will come back on the other side. We'll wrap up another edition of Double Jab Boxing, and of course, Double Jab Podcast, powered by the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, live inside the studios of TriX57.com.